There's some new food here in Hollywood Studios, so you know we had to come check it out. From a new spread at my favorite bar on property to some new snacks and even new food at one of the most popular restaurants. We're trying it all, so let's go eat. Out of nowhere, they're changing up the menus on us in Hollywood Studios, and while usually I'm excited for new food in the parks, this time I must admit, I'm a little sad. One of my favorite Disney World snacks of all time, and probably my go-to snack when I'm coming to Hollywood Studios, has been changed, hopefully for the better. We shall find out very, very soon. And along with some changes and new additions to the menu over at Baseline, there's a menu full of some brand new sandwiches and a new dessert over at Sci-Fi Dine-In. And you guys know how I feel about the food over at Sci-Fi, but last time they added a new burger to the menu, it was actually pretty good. So we're gonna try all of the new sandwiches as well as the new dessert over at Sci-Fi, and we're gonna end with a sneaky little new dessert that they have over in Toy Story Land. But we've got a bunch of new food to check out today. I think we're gonna start by heading to Baseline Tap House for a little appetizer. I need to know what this new menu is giving. Like I mentioned earlier, Baseline Tap House is probably my favorite bar in all of Walt Disney World. And it's not just because I love the bar bites and they have one of my favorite drinks on property, it's because I just love the vibes sitting out there in one of the high top tables with the music that they play. Their playlist is amazing. It is just so cozy. It is the ultimate Hollywood Studios vibe. And whenever I'm hanging in Hollywood, there's like an 80% chance you can find me over at Baseline Tap House. The menu's pretty small. They've got some beers that you could put into a beer flight. They also have a few wines as well as some mixed drinks, some non-alcoholic drinks, and some menu hacks, which we will talk about very soon. But aside from that, they also have some great food. They have, of course, the Baseline pretzel with the beer cheese. That is amazing. Thankfully, they have not touched that. I don't think, at least. But they also added a new chip and dip dish over at Baseline, which I am very excited to try. But one thing they have touched, my beloved charcuterie board. Guys, this charcuterie board was so good and so cheap. I loved coming over to Baseline, just grabbing that charcuterie board, sharing it with the table. It had some great stuff on there. And from what I'm seeing, my favorite thing on that board has been taken off. So I am very sad. Like I said, we're gonna see if this replacement is an upgrade or a downgrade from the original. I believe it hasn't changed since they opened Baseline Tap House, that charcuterie board. This is like the first change of it. So we're gonna see if it's worthy of the change or not. Either way, I'm gonna miss that goat cheese on the old charcuterie board. Let's go check it out. All right, so we've picked up all of the new food, and when I was in there, I did ask the bartender if he knew the brand of the goat cheese that they used for their old charcuterie board, just because I loved it so much. Unfortunately, he wasn't sure, but if anyone knows the brand of the old goat cheese that they used to have at Baseline with the pistachios and like dried cranberries around the outside, it was like my favorite goat cheese ever. Please let me know, because I must find that again. But aside from all of the new food that was introduced just a couple of days ago, we also have a brand new cider that they brought to Baseline maybe a couple of months ago. This is the Coronado Brewing Company Super Fruit Hard Cider. For a 20 ounce, it is $13.25. They also have an option to get, I believe, a 16 ounce, but it's like 75 cents cheaper than the 20 ounce, so I always go 20 ounce. They used to have a cider on the menu here at Baseline that was very popular. I believe it was a blood orange cider, and I think the company either like went out of business or something because they weren't able to supply it here at Baseline anymore, and people were very, very upset. I would say that was probably the most popular draft beverage that they served over at Baseline. So everyone was very upset when the cider went away, and they didn't have a cider here for quite a while until they brought this super fruit hard cider in. Now, I was never a big fan of the blood orange cider. I'm just not a cider person. Sometimes they're a little too sweet for me and stuff. And this one certainly looks like it's gonna be a little too sweet for me. I could just tell by the color, but let's try it out. Ooh, that's tart. If you're someone that can't handle very strong drinks, this one is probably for you. It's not very strong. It tastes more like a juice, a tart sweet juice at that. Maybe even a little bit sour. This kind of tastes like there's maybe some pomegranates in there, which I believe, is pomegranate a superfruit? I might have to Google that. But it has a very strong pomegranate flavor. I believe if you like ciders and if you like that old blood orange one, you will probably enjoy this, although I think I might have liked the blood orange one better. I wouldn't necessarily order either of them, but I do think I like the blood orange one just a little bit better. My go-to drink here at Baseline is not necessarily on the menu. I always get the strawberry hibiscus soda. It's just a soda, no alcohol in it on the menu. I believe it's around $5. It is so good. But there's a little trick you could do to add a little bit of alcohol in it. You could choose any of their well vodkas or any of their hard liquor that they have, and they could add it to that strawberry hibiscus soda. So it's like a flavor bomb of a vodka soda, kind of. So I always have them add a little bit of Tito's in there, some lime. You could also have them do a double Tito's and strawberry hibiscus soda. That's probably what I get most often. I'm very specific with the way that I like it. I like a strawberry hibiscus soda with double Tito's in a small glass. That way you could taste the alcohol a little bit more. Sometimes when you get it in the tall glass, when you get a double, they put it in like the tall glass like this, and it kind of drowns out the alcohol flavor. However, I like a little bit of that bitterness from the alcohol. So again, very specific. I get a strawberry hibiscus soda, double Tito's with a lime in a small glass. I know that's very, very specific, but that's just the way I like it. Now they do also have a strawberry lemonade on the menu with no alcohol, but again, you could spike that just like you can with the strawberry hibiscus soda. And I think that soda is gonna remain my go-to order here, although I do enjoy this. It is pretty nice to sip on this very warm Orlando day. The weather in Orlando lately has just gotten very, very hot out of nowhere, so it is nice to sip on an ice cold cider here while enjoying the Baseline vibes, but we've got to get to this food. Starting with this new California cheese and charcuterie plate. This has blue cheese, brie, goat cheese, sopressata, brajol, blueberry compote, onion jam, bread and butter pickles, and lavash for $13. I do think the amount of food that you get on here is pretty similar to what you used to get. It's still 3 cheeses and 2 meats, some bread. They did take away the grapes, but instead of the grapes, they now have this blueberry compote here, which I'm actually very excited about. And they also have an onion jam, and something really cool with both the onion jam and the blueberry compote, they let me know that they're actually making the blueberry compote with the cider. So that's really awesome, and they're making the onion jam here with the red ale that they have on the menu. That's awesome. We've got our blue cheese, which unfortunately, it's kind of funny. The only thing I didn't like on the old board was blue cheese, and of course that's like that's the only thing that stayed other than the sopressata right here. Then we've got our goat cheese, which is more of like it's hot. It's getting little droplets on it. But the goat cheese is more of like a harder cheese now. It's not that soft, delicious cheese. And the pickles, instead of the cornichones, it's now bread and butter pickles. I am very upset about the bread changing. They used to have a great, delicious, salted, buttered, toasted baguette, and now we've just got some lavash, probably because that's easier to serve up, like just a thin, crispy cracker instead of them having to actually toast up the bread themselves. And then this brajol is new. They used to have 2 different kinds of sopressata salami, but now they've got a brajol here. This brie does look good, okay? I will admit, I like the brie edition. So let's build ourselves a little bite here. I'm not sure what to go for first. We're definitely gonna grab a little cracker. Very thin and crisp. I want some of this onion jam here. I hope it's like a nice, sweet, caramelized onion jam. It should be. It looks to be that way. And I gotta grab some of this brie here. Since it is so hot, the brie has kind of like melted down a little bit. So that should be really good paired with the onion jam there. Let's try it out. That is honestly an absolutely killer combo. That onion jam with the brie cheese. And like I said, it's so warm. The brie is almost like melted already. It's not served warm. They take it out of the fridge. However, since it is so hot out here, it's kind of melted. Now I want to try it with this blueberry compote. I think the one major thing that the charcuterie board was missing in the past was a sweet element. Like I said, they had the grapes, but the grapes are kind of hard to like get a bite with the cheese sometimes on the cracker. So I think having a jam or some type of honey on here was necessary. I would always say that's the only thing the charcuterie board needed. So like I said, the onion jam, the sweetness from the onion jam, and this blueberry jam, really good. I like the onion jam even more though. That onion jam is insane. Now let's try this new goat cheese, guys. I'm very sad about this. I will remain salty about this. It's almost like a Parmesan kind of. What should we pair this with? Maybe I'll just go goat cheese and a little bit of onion jam on there. This goat cheese that they're using is a very mild, non-sharp Parmesan. That's the kind of flavor that I'm getting from it. It's not sharp, and when I get like a Parmesan or a hard cheese like this, I love it to be super sharp, to the point where you almost like pucker up. It's so sharp. This is not giving that, and I definitely gotta say, I will forever miss that old goat cheese, man. I wish I knew what brand it was. I hope one of you guys knows, because I would be purchasing that from the grocery store. It's still good, but the other one is so much better. Now for our pickles here. These do look like they might be like house pickled, because I see some like onions and stuff in there as well. They're decent, and they'll pair nicely with the cheese. I like that we kept a pickle on this board. The braciole is new. It looks like we've only got like, no, there's two pieces. Okay, so we've still got 2 pieces of meat here, the salami. I mean, it's fine, and it all pairs very well with the cider. Now, they do also have some pretty big pours of wine that you could get with this, and while I do think I probably prefer the old charcuterie board just a little bit better, I will say I'm not mad about this. The 2 main things that I'm going to be missing from the old charcuterie board are the bread. I think the toasted baguette was so much better than this crispy lavash that they just pulled out of a package. And as you guys know, the goat cheese. This goat cheese just can't stack up to the old goat cheese. I wish they just got rid of the blue cheese and just put this goat cheese there and kept the soft goat cheese. I don't know. But I will definitely miss the soft goat cheese and the toast. That onion jam and the brie cheese, I love those additions. Alrighty, finally onto our final new food from Baseline Tap House, these Avenue chips. These are house-made salt and vinegar kettle chips served with beer cheese fondue for $7. I am a firm believer that every bar and lounge should have some form of chip and dip. I feel like that is the ultimate bar lounge food. Just being able to pick up something and dip it into something else. And it's even better when you're dipping it into beer cheese here. The beer cheese here is excellent. It's the same beer cheese that they serve with their amazing pretzel. So I have absolutely no doubt that this here is going to be delicious. And these are looking like pretty much the same Disney kettle chips that they have at quick service restaurants and stuff. I do like that they're adding salt and vinegar seasoning onto them, so I can appreciate that they're doing a little something different, and I think these should pair really good with the beer cheese. All right, let's go for a dunk of this beer cheese here and see how these new chips and dips are. Okay, this combo here is very good. The chips don't have a strong salt and vinegar flavor. In fact, I don't think I'm tasting any salt and vinegar on them at all. Let me just try the chip alone. I don't know if they like actually forgot to put the salt and vinegar seasoning on these, because there's actually 0 salt and vinegar flavor whatsoever. So that very well might be the case, but I mean, this beer cheese here is absolutely delicious. You could put this on anything and it would just be amazing. So it's really good with these chips. These chips here have seemingly replaced the spice nuts that they had on the menu up until a few days ago, and I see right through these menu changes here. They're trying to dumb down this menu and make it easier, which I understand. Baseline could get very busy, so they took the nuts off the menu. They added the beer cheese that they already have and already make, and they just took the chips that they have over at the Dockside Diner. And then with the charcuterie board, instead of toasting the bread fresh themselves, like I said, they're just pulling crackers out of a package. So they're making things a little bit easier on them. And while I definitely will be getting this chips and dips again, because again, I just love sipping on a drink, dipping a bread or a potato in a dip. And it's delicious. I mean, this beer cheese is great. I just wish they did a little bit something more unique, you know? Maybe to go with the beer flight, they could have had a dip flight, a dip trio. Maybe add some type of, I don't know, onion dip, something. They could have had the beer cheese as one of them and then come up with 2 other dips. I definitely think that would have been really awesome. But it's just a very, very basic snack, and I do love the Disney kettle chips. I think they are good. It's just something easy that they could put on the menu. And like I said, I will be getting this again because I think it is very delicious. But I wish they just did a little something extra. I don't know. Some of the chips closer to the bag have a little bit more seasoning, but still not enough for me. And I still have so many chips left and not that much cheese left. I wonder if you could get an extra little cup of cheese, because they don't give you enough for the amount of chips that they have. I'm gonna sip on the rest of my warm cider at this point. We're getting ready for our Sci-Fi reservation, which is in about 30 minutes. And Sci-Fi is conveniently located literally right there behind that wall. All right, we are all checked into our table at the Sci-Fi Dine-In, and I feel like I say the same thing every time I dine at Sci-Fi. Ambiance, vibes, 10 out of 10. Amazing. It's a very unique themed restaurant. However, the food, it's not good, except for that last new burger that they had. A couple months ago, they introduced like a smash burger, and I actually thought that was good, and I said that is probably the best thing I've ever eaten at Sci-Fi. Everything else, I'm just so disappointed by. I always feel the burgers taste actually worse than the burgers that you could get at like quick service restaurants and stuff. And so unfortunate because the vibes and the restaurant, it's just so cool in there. The food just doesn't measure up. So we've got 2 new sandwiches. We've got a new dessert at Sci-Fi. We're gonna try all 3 brand new items, and I'll give you guys my honest review of them. We have grabbed our table in the back of the restaurant at one of the flying saucers. Typically these tables are reserved for people that are doing walk-up reservations. However, it's a bit easier to film at these tables here. Although, if I wasn't filming, I definitely prefer to eat in the cars. That's like the coolest part. You got to sit in like a car. However, like I said, it's very dark and it's very quiet. So we need to be a little bit loud today so I could talk to you guys. And conveniently, we're sitting right in front of a sign that says, "Our burgers are out of this world." I don't know how true that statement is. But we're gonna find out if maybe this new burger is good. So we'll take a look over the new menu here. All the same appetizers, those smoked wings. Oh my gosh, guys, they are my arch nemesis here. And they got rid of the fried pickles about a year ago at this point, but down here is gonna be all of the new stuff, or 2 of the new things. Everything stayed the same, except they added this fried chicken Cordon Bleu sandwich, as well as a new feature film burger. I did get to try their last feature film burger that they had on the menu, which they actually made a permanent menu item and named it the Cider. It has a beef patty, griddled pastrami, pepper jack, lettuce, a tomato, Carolina mustard sauce. I despised this burger. I don't know why it was so popular that it actually became a regular menu item. That's kind of shocking to me personally. I just did not care for that burger at all. But the new feature film burger is topped with some corned beef. Isn't corned beef and pastrami, like, aren't they super similar? Like, I feel like the feature film burger that they currently have is very similar to the one that they added on the menu. And that previous feature film burger that I was telling you about that is now the Cider was the feature film burger for at least a year. So I wish they actually changed it up frequently, but it doesn't look like they do that, unless maybe with this menu change they plan on it. Okay, so our burgers have arrived, and I must say, they look a lot better in person than they did in the photos. When the Disney Eats Instagram page first posted about the new menu here at Sci-Fi, the first thing I thought was, oh my god, that looks awful. But I must say, I am pleasantly surprised by how they actually look in person. Like, this looks like it has some potential here. And I am most intrigued by this fried chicken Cordon Bleu sandwich, so let's try this first. This has a fried chicken thigh topped with ham and melted Swiss cheese on a bed of arugula with our signature maple Dijon, served on a brioche bun for $22. Now, I think a chicken Cordon Bleu, that's like it's so random. Like, who was asking for this? I feel like a buffalo chicken sandwich or something like that would have been a little bit more normal and maybe better, but like I said, this does look quite tasty. We've got 2 thick slabs of ham in there. They probably took the ham from next door at ABC Commissary because they have a kid's ham and cheese sandwich. It looks to be that exact same ham. They've got the Swiss. We've got that maple Dijon on there, which looks delicious. The chicken doesn't seem to be super crisp, but I like the arugula on there and the bun. Again, the bun does look pretty good. So we'll just dive right in and take a bite of this Sammy here. Okay, upon initial bite, I'm noticing a couple of things. The chicken, very fatty and doesn't seem to be of good quality. When I have fried chicken, I personally prefer a chicken breast. I'm fine with a thigh, but this is just like super fatty and not good quality. Again, not super crispy, and the batter that they fried the chicken in has not a lick of salt or pepper. It's super under-seasoned. The ham is a little bit weird for me because it's like cold. Like, if they maybe toasted the ham and put the ham on a griddle first before just plopping it on this sandwich, so it's just like cold deli meat ham, That could have been a little bit better. I didn't get much of that Dijon mustard in the first bite there. I also couldn't taste much of the cheese. And I feel like chicken cordon bleu is supposed to have like a creamy bechamel style cheesy sauce on it. So I don't know why they couldn't just add some type of cheese sauce. Not super impressed by that first bite, but I want to get another here. Did you guys see the size of like that deli ham? The casing just like stringed off. It just doesn't have enough flavor at all. Maybe I need to pour some more. So I did get the mustard sauce on the side. Maybe I need to pour like a little bit more on there to give it a little bit more flavor, because as it is, it tastes like nothing. Guys, I thoroughly cannot tell if I'm actually eating raw chicken or if it's just because it's a thigh, it's a little bit more red. But do you guys see that there? Let me shine, I don't think you could see with this light. Let me shine my flashlight on it, but that centerpiece there does not look cooked. Do you see what I mean there? It like doesn't look cooked. It's like super pink. I don't know if that's just like a vein or what, but whatever it is, and look at how soggy the bottom of that chicken is. Whether that chicken is uncooked or just like that's a bad part of the chicken, I'm kind of turned off from it. The flavor wasn't good anyway, and again, chicken cordon bleu, like I cannot even tell you. I don't even know if I've ever fully had chicken cordon bleu. It's so random. And I feel like they just could have made a more interesting kind of chicken sandwich. So that was definitely a miss from me. Sci-Fi. This burger we're about to try hopefully is a little better. This is the feature film burger. It's a signature blend of beef topped with sliced corned beef, Swiss cheese, and a house-made sauerkraut and Thousand Island dressing, served on a pretzel bun for $26. Now keep in mind, with any of the burgers here at Sci-Fi, you can substitute the side of fries that your sandwich comes with for a side of onion rings for an additional $2.50. I just went fries. They're typical thick cut, more steak style fries, different from the usual Disney fry. They're always just okay to me. But then we've got our burger, and according to the sign right behind me, their burgers are out of this world. This will be the true test here. I do love a pretzel bun. I love when a sandwich or a burger is on a pretzel bun. So maybe this will be good here. Maybe all these burgers that Sci-Fi needed was a pretzel bun for me to like them. We shall see. Okay, the good news is I don't hate it. Is it the best burger I've had or a burger I would ever come back for? No. But is it bad? No. There's a strong sauerkraut flavor. I am someone who really enjoys sauerkraut. Like, perfect toppings on a hot dog for me personally are some mustard and sauerkraut. So I've never had sauerkraut on a burger. I'm not sure if it necessarily works on a burger. It's a strange combination. The corned beef is a little bit too much, you know, like I don't know if a thick patty like this necessarily needs more meat. Like, this is a very meaty sandwich. It's very heavy, and with it being really hot in Orlando, it's a little bit too heavy for me to really ever order again. I think the only thing a thick patty like this, if you're gonna put extra meat on it, would need is like bacon. I just think it's just too much meat. I like the Swiss on there, and I like the pretzel bun as well. Maybe I'll drizzle some of this maple sauce here that I got on the side from the chicken sandwich onto this, because, like, you know, sauerkraut and mustard on a hot dog, sauerkraut and mustard on a burger, that definitely made it much better. Still too thick and meaty for me. However, this mustard sauce is really good, and it works really well with this burger here, because you got the pretzel too, you know, like I like a good pretzel with like mustard. So the mustard here is the game changer. If you guys come and order this burger, definitely get the mustard on the side. It makes it so much better. After enjoying that burger with the mustard, my server did see me kind of looking around at my chicken sandwich with a flashlight, and he said, "Oh, what's wrong?" And he looked at it and he saw it, and he's like, "Yeah, let me bring you another." You guys know I don't typically like to do that. I was brought another chicken Sammy here. It's definitely a better quality piece than the last one. That was just not a good quality piece of chicken, I feel. And still, I feel like I was taking a couple bites for my TikTok video, and it's just so stringy, and like the whole chicken kind of falls apart. It's better than before, but it's still just not. It's still not great. It's still just a miss for me. The breading from the chicken, it just needs way more seasoning. It's very plain. And I think it could use some like bechamel or some type of cream sauce on it. Maybe that would add a little bit of flavor there, but as it is, I would not order this sandwich again. I don't know if I would necessarily order this burger again ever since my discovery here with the mustard, but like I said, it is definitely far better than the chicken sandwich. I need more mustard sauce. Far better than the chicken sandwich, and if I had to choose one of these things, it would be this. I still just prefer a quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's. Like, is that crazy to say? I think a McDonald's burger is better than the burgers here at Sci-Fi. Now, typically when coming to Sci-Fi, if I wanted a dessert, I would just order a milkshake. However, there is a new dessert on the menu. This cerulean moon thing. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this dessert is bad news for dome cake haters across the nation. Yes, we have another dome cake on a Disney dessert menu. I am personally very sad to see it, but I must test it out for science. This is the cerulean moon. It's a chocolate mousse dome with strawberry filling on a graham cracker tart with a hibiscus sponge, green space dust, and chocolate caramel sauce for $9.50. This came out within, if I'm being generous, 2 minutes of me ordering it. Meaning it was just sitting in the fridge waiting to be picked out. And you can tell. I mean, I don't know why places serve this tiny of a dessert on this size of a plate. It doesn't look right. Why would you serve this tiny dessert of the quality of which you could find at a Disney buffet a la Chef Mickey's or Hollywood and Vine on a plate like this, and then just have nothing other than a tiny smear of chocolate on the other side? I don't know. It's about 2, maybe 3 times the size of the typical Disney buffet tarts. I see some strawberry gel on the bottom and then a dome on top. You guys know the ingredients to a Disney dome cake. Some type of little crust, some type of gel, and some type of mousse, always covered in some more gel that is usually colorful. So this is like a textbook Disney dome cake here. We're not looking too good. Let's break in here. All right, we've got a couple of strawberries, I guess, a lot of gel, and then our chocolate with our crust. Let's try it. I will admit, the chocolate mousse on the inside does look good, thick, and rich. And I would be correct in saying that the chocolate mousse does look good and thick and rich. The chocolate mousse in there, delicious. It's everything else that isn't good. This tart pastry shell tastes like it has been sitting in the fridge for about 3 days. It's mushy, not crunchy. The strawberry gel on the bottom tastes very processed, not fresh whatsoever. We do have this passion fruit sponge here in the green space dust. That doesn't add anything to the dish here, but I did think this was going to be a little bit worse. This is only not that bad because the chocolate mousse is very good. But I would never get this again. And for them to be serving a buffet quality dessert here, a character buffet quality dessert for $9.50, just get a milkshake, guys. If you're coming here and you want a sweet treat, just go for the milkshake. I wouldn't get this again. I just keep picking at the chocolate mousse part of this dessert here, but I've got to stop because we've still got one more brand new dessert to try in Hollywood Studios today over in Toy Story Land at Woody's Lunchbox. We're going to head there now. They have Woody's Lunchbox on lock over here. They have been doing construction on this seating area for maybe 2 years, maybe more. And they got the ropes up chaining people out so you can't get in here. You got to stand and wait. Very weird situation over here at Woody's Lunchbox, but we have picked up our brand new Lunchbox Tart that I am very excited to try. This is the Claw Lunchbox Tart. It's a key lime curd filled pastry topped with marshmallow fondant, sugar candy, blue sprinkles, and purple crispy pearls for $4.99. I do believe key lime pie is one of the greatest flavors of pie out there, so I was very happy when I saw this here. This is brand new. Usually they just recycle through the Lunchbox Tart flavors every couple months or so, but key lime pie, this is brand new. We'll break her open. I know exactly how this is going to go. There's not going to be enough filling in there. And I would be correct in saying that. The thinnest layer of filling possible. I feel like something that everyone at Disney World can agree on is that there is never enough filling in the Lunchbox Tarts. And they're so good and they have so much potential to be even better, but they just don't put enough filling in there. But we've got that key lime, that little tiny layer of key lime filling. We'll try it out. As per usual, a little dry just because it is such a thin layer of filling, but I do like that shortbread sugar cookie flavor, as I do with every Lunchbox Tart. The key lime flavor is very mild. Like when I have key lime pie, I want it to be like almost borderline sour. I want that key lime flavor to really hit me in the face. And this, I don't really taste much lime at all. Okay, that bite I got more from the center, because the sides there's like not much filling. You gotta eat from the center to get that key lime flavor. Still not much key lime flavor, but it's there in the center. This treat is so cute with the eyes and the alien kind of claw vibes. I do enjoy the theming of this dessert, and I do generally like it. I like the dry sugar cookie kind of flavor. I wish there was a little bit more key lime in there. I also wish, you know, an essential part of key lime pie is graham cracker. I wish there was maybe like a little bit of graham cracker crumb sprinkled on top. That might mess with the aesthetic of the dessert. However, I believe it would help with the taste a little bit. It's good. Wouldn't rush out of my way to get it. I still think my favorite Lunchbox Tart that they have here is lemon blueberry. But it's decent. Well, with that, I did have to get myself a cup of water to wash down our Lunchbox Tart. But we have officially eaten all of the new food in Hollywood Studios, almost all of the new food, because just recently the Hollywood Brown Derby did get a new menu, or some new menu items. That's been a couple of weeks, so we've got all of the new menu items that just came out this past week. And just like with most new food at Disney World, there were some hits, there were some misses. Starting over at Baseline Tap House, I do think the replacement charcuterie board could have been a lot worse. I did enjoy it, although I will always miss the baguette and that goat cheese. I'm telling you, that goat cheese was incredible. It gone but not forgotten. Disney always does this weird thing. Whenever the majority of people really love a food, they tend to either take it away or change it in some type of way. I feel like there was no real need for them to ever mess with that charcuterie board, but for some reason they decided to do it. I did think it was still good. I do think it's still a good value, and there were some great additions on there, like the brie, like the onion jam, like the blueberry compote, but I will forever be missing that goat cheese and the baguette. Now, along with the charcuterie board, I do think the chips and the beer cheese were pretty decent as well, although nothing absolutely spectacular. It's just that beer cheese that carries anything. I'm telling you, you could put that beer cheese from Baseline on anything and it will be good. But then we move over to Sci-Fi, and that restaurant, man, I say this every time. They just need to get rid of the entire menu and start from scratch. I mean, that burger, the new feature film burger, is good, is okay with that mustard sauce. Without it, it's not great. And that chicken sandwich was just a miss, as was the dessert. The dessert quality was of the quality that you could get at a character buffet, which totally should not be the case. And then we have the Lunchbox Tart, which of course was dry, but was enjoyable. So again, some hits, some misses. I'm sure you're all letting me know what you think about the changes, especially over at Baseline in the comments. I know there's a lot of die-hard Baseline charcuterie fans, me included, that are probably very upset with this change. And I am too. I really, really wonder why they felt the need to change it So thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Remember, whenever there is new food in the parks, I'm always out here trying it and sharing my honest reviews with you guys. Shout out to all of my subscribers over on Patreon. I appreciate all of you. And thank you everyone for watching this video. If you don't already and you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.